a little more than 7 years ago. The U.S. Air Force was about to destroy the entirety of its fleet of 10 Thunderbolt IIs, also known as Warthogs. General Mark Welsh, the third Chief of Staff of the USAF at the time, stated in 2014 that if the Air Force was to significantly reduce its budget, the 10 had to be retired completely. He also stated that the funding and manpower freed up would need to be used to set up new aircraft units of F-35. Welsh asserted that getting rid of the close air support stalwart will save $500 million in unnecessary modifications and $1 billion over the course of a 5-year defense program. Changing times, indeed. The plane will now be kept in the Air Force's inventory permanently, according to a 2017 announcement. And now, we'll go deeper into what makes this aircraft so unique. The Warthog, the Flying Gun, and the Tank Buster are further names for the A Thunderbolt. It had its first flight in May 1972, and 716 aircraft were made in total. In 1984, A-10's aircraft manufacturing ceased. Since 1987, Northrop Grumman has been the A-10's primary contractor. The company manages support and structural upgrading activities from the Integrated Systems and Aerostructures divisions at Bethpage, New York, and at St. The Warthog, which was developed in St. Augustine in Florida, was intended to offer close air support to Allied ground troops by attacking enemy tanks, armored vehicles, and other ground forces. It is the only aircraft produced specifically for close air support and used by the U.S. Air Force. Its secondary duty is to act as a forward air controller, which involves giving orders to other aircraft to strike targets on the ground. A-10 designates airborne vehicles used primarily in this function. The terrifying GU-8 Avenger 30mm Gatling cannon of the A-10 is likely its most well-known feature. On the nose, mounted. The GU-8 is made to fire high-explosive incendiary, depleted uranium, and armor-piercing bullets. The GU-8 underwent a variety of flight profiles, from altitudes as high as 25,000 feet to as low as 100 feet, during its initial in-flight testing, which started in 1974. And from accelerations of up to 5 gs and speeds ranging from barely 250 km per hour to around 773 km per hour. Originally intended to shoot upwards of 4,200 rounds per minute, the 7-barrel Gatling stock gun now fires at a still amazingly high 3,900 rounds per minute. The 30mm cartridges that the GU-8 spits out are each larger than a regular beer bottle, and it required 2 hydraulic motors to spin the barrels, which caused the aircraft to shake and hot gas clouds to be produced. The nose landing gear is offset to the right of the aircraft, ensuring that the firing barrel winds up along the center of the airframe when the gun recoils, which could cause forces to push the airframe out of the way. Forces could drive the entire flame off target during shooting so that the firing barrel winds up along the middle of the airframe when the guns recoil. When viewed from the front of the aircraft, the actively firing barrel of the gut is situated somewhat off-center, slightly to the port side of the fuselage center line, such that it lies directly on the aircraft center line. The firing barrel, which is bore-sided down a line 2 degrees below the aircraft's line of flight, is likewise located right below the center of gravity of the plane. The aircraft's pitch or yaw won't change because to this arrangement's precise centering of the recoil forces. Each of its 7 barrels features an interior groove that runs the whole length of the barrel when shot, causing each round to spin as a result. The drum's bullet rounds total roughly 4,000 pounds in weight. This means that when positioning the aircraft's center of gravity, the weight of the rounds and their shells must be taken into account. In order to balance the aircraft without the ammunition, you would have to balance an empty gun on the nose. The Warthog's other design elements help the Avenger function. Taking the slat on each wing as an example. These aren't slats in the classic sense of an airplane because they don't provide lift or make landings any slower. Instead, they smooth the air flow off the wing into the engine and assist keep the aircraft from stalling when it flies at a high angle of attack. Additionally, because the gun gas lacks oxygen when the aircraft uses the gun, directing it underneath the wing prevents it from suffocating the engine. Additionally, a wind fence directs the gas down the fuselage when the gun fires. A large selection of conventional weapons, including up to 10 Maverick air-to-surface missiles, are available for use by the Warthog. The Raytheon Maverick AGM-65 missile uses a range of guidance mechanisms, including image and infrared guidance, as well as a variety of warheads, such as a high-penetration, 57-kilogram conical-shaped charged warhead with a range of more than 45 kilometers. Can also carry the all-aspect, short-range Sidewinder air-to-air missile, which has a maximum speed above Mach 2. This aircraft is equipped to launch a variety of weapons, such as the LDGP Mark 82-226. BLU and BLU-27B Rockeye-2 cluster bombs, kilogram 500 pounds general-purpose bombs, and cluster bomb unit CBU-5271. The capacity to operate at low speeds and at altitudes lower than 1,000 feet. Allows for precise and efficient weapon delivery over all terrain types. The two General Electric TF-34 and GE-100 non-afterburning turbofan engines each produce 9,065 pounds of push. The pilot can easily fly the aircraft with one engine out of commission thanks to the position of the engines high on the fuselage. The A-10 is exceptionally battle-hardened, able to withstand direct hits from armor-piercing and high-explosive projectiles up to 23 mm, and is actually meant to be able to fly with one engine, half of the tail, one elevator, and half of a wing gone. In case the hydraulic flight systems fail, it features two redundant mechanical backup systems. With up to 3.8 centimeters of titanium bathtub-style protection for the pilot, the single-seat cockpit is completely surrounded by armor. Large protective bubble canopies in the cockpit provide excellent all-around view. It has a heads-up display for targeting and weapon aiming, as well as a tactical air navigation system, inertial navigation, and a half-quick secure radio communication system. Austere bases with few amenities close to war zones can be used to maintain and operate the Warthog. The engines, landing gear, and vertical stabilizers are only a few of the left and right sides of the aircraft's sections that may be swapped out. All A-10 and A-10 aircraft in the fleet were brought up to the ATC level between 2006 and 2010 through the A-10 Precision Engagement Modification Program. On July 25, 2019, the U.S. Air Force finished a project to ruin a portion of its ATC fleet. When Boeing was awarded a $1 billion contract to provide 173 sets of wings, the project got underway. The new wings will allow the modified aircraft to stay in operation until 2030 or later and are predicted to survive up to 10,000 equivalent flying hours without the need for a depot check. In the 2018 fiscal year, funding was provided for a further project to provide 112 extra wing sets for the remaining ATCS. Under the A-10 Thunderbolt Advanced Wing Continuation Kit program, the service is purchasing the wing sets. The current plans do not support a long-held goal to re-engineer the A-10s. Instead of the modest detune that the General Electric TF-34 engines currently function with, new parts suppliers using contemporary techniques might assist restore the engine's original thrust. Together, these numerous capability improvements will maintain the A-10 at the forefront of the close air support mission of the United States Air Force for at least another 10 years, and most likely for much longer. The U.S. Air Force's decision to launch another assault on the Thunderbolt-2 fleet will have a significant impact. The A-10 won't be going away anytime soon either, as additional investments are being made to recapitalize the A-10 force and as interest in a replacement or new light attack platform has decreased. What do you think of